Wow, there we are then. All labelled up, so I ain't got to keep looking at my sheet. Right guys, I am out the front with my hydroponic wicking tomatoes. It's sunny, and I want to show you how I go about my tying up and side shooting. So, and it is side shooting, not taking the suckers off, but some people call it that, and it's up to them, isn't it? Here is a classic example of a side shoot coming out from a leaf axle. See there? Now what we want to do is tie this up before we break that off, because if we break that off and something goes wrong with this, we've got no leader. So I'll try and show you on another one as well. Okay, same here then. This is the flower. Flower comes off the stem there. Side shoot comes off the leaf axle, 90 degrees, you know what I mean? So that's got to come off after I tied this in. Up here. Right, yeah, let's get the camera set up, it's the best way to do it. Okay, it's going to be pretty hard to see this, but... Right, what I'm using today is this rubber coated wire. Quite good stuff actually. So just cut a little piece off. Another good example there, look, side shoot, leader. So I'm going to tie this up and take that off in a minute. If you can, when you do the tying up, it's best to do the tie over a leaf axle if you can, doesn't matter if you can't, and that way it won't slide down the cane. Don't want to do them tight on the cane, mind, because the stems are going to swell and you don't want to constrict the flow of the sap. I also use just normal plastic plant ties or hemp twine if I can get it. I've got some at the moment, but I don't really fancy tying knots today. Okay then, so when it comes to the side shooting, there's a few tools we can use, and by far the best is your fingers. You either can pinch out the little tiny shoots or snap off the larger shoots. Now if the shoots have got too large, you can cut them off. Now when you snap a side shoot off, the break is rough, and because it's so rough, the plant heals very quickly. If you cut the side shoot with, say, a pair of scissors or bypass secateurs, it leaves a perfectly clean cut. The plant doesn't like that, it takes ages to heal. So if you have got a large one that you're frightened of snapping off, use anvil secateurs, the ones that crush the stem a little bit. The crushing triggers the plant to get on and heal itself. Now, you certainly wouldn't use secateurs like that because they're filthy, dirty, don't know where they've been. These are just my general purpose ones. But any other secateurs, first thing you do is sterilise them a bit. And I always use meths. I've used meths all the time. I like the smell. I've said that a few times, haven't I? So, put it on the old bin. Oh. And I haven't got any plant diseases here at the moment, but if you had, you would wipe these every time you cut a plant. So let's leave those a minute. Let's get the camera round and I'll show you, if I can, an example of every type. And now, believe me if you want, I've left these a bit long with the intention of showing you every example. So let's see what we can find, eh? Okay, then there's one there to pinch out. That's a pinchy one. That's a pinchy one. And that's just a snappy one. That wasn't too bad, that one. There's one there as well. And I'm going to cut this one, if you can see that at the bottom. I'm going to cut this one because it's a little bit large. But what you can do is just tweak the cut a little bit and it thinks there's a bit of damage. Okay, then on this black moon, we've only got the one side shoot so far. And that is a pinch out with your thumb one. What you can do with these, if it's early in the season, you can pop these on, but I'm not going to. Okay, then what we got here on this Captain Lucky. Well, we've tied it up there. Big side shoot there, which I just snapped off. Dirty, horrible cut. There's a pinchy out one there. Got that. There's a big one here at the bottom, if we can get that. I'm going to cut that one. That's too big to snap off. And again, just rough the cut up a little bit. And there's one there, we don't want that either. And that means that is a side shoot, and that is... I'm going to try and snap this one. It's a bit big, but we'll see. Yes. There we are. Okay, then what we got here? Shirami. Now that's a big one at the bottom. We don't want that. Don't want that at all, so that's coming off. That one's coming off. It's not underground, it's not off the roots, so it's not technically a sucker. But I don't want it. Snapped off, side shoot. Make sure it's a side shoot. Snapped off. Pinch out this one. Snapped off. Big one there. God, these have been neglected, haven't they? That's cut off. It's almost getting too warm that they're bending now, so I'm going to just snip those. Start at the bottom and work up. That's a leaf, that's a leaf, that's a side shoot, that's a side shoot. Of course, this gives it a bit more air as well by doing this. That's a side shoot, that's a side shoot, pinch, that's a side shoot, pinch. Is that too big to pinch? Yeah, it's bending now. It's getting, the afternoon, the day's moving on and it's getting warm, look. So that's all right. I'll do this one in front, this Marbon. This came from Jason and Colleen, this one. Side shoot coming off. Side shoot. I tell you what, it is interesting that since starting filming, what, 20 minutes ago or something, these side shoots have got to the stage where they're too floppy to snap off. So it just shows you how quick you've got to be in the morning. There's a big one there, we don't want that at all. And like I said, this gives it a lot more chance to breathe. Give it another couple of weeks and I'll start taking the lower leaves off as well. Right, that's them all pruned and tied up. Side shoots are off, the ones I want them to be off. And we'll see how it goes from here, eh? I've got a few more to do around the front here, which we shall whiz round to now. Got these ones in the pots. Santiam Sunrise, Tim's Taste of Paradise. Over there we got Sun Gold and Indigo Pear. All of those say they can be grown as indeterminate or determinate, so I'm trying to see how they pan out before I do any pruning. Well, I hope it's been helpful, guys. Don't forget, pinch out or snap off in the morning, and if you've got to cut, use anvil secateurs and rough the cut up a little bit if you can, because the tomato plants do not like nice clean cuts. If you want to, you can pot on the cuttings, but what is it now, middle of June? May not be worthwhile doing now, but we'll see. I'm not doing it, don't need to.
Know you've been a good friend, and that's in the thick and thin.